sir. I just need to let you know that I've added an item to the agenda.
Hey, turn this for you.
And in that adoption of the agenda, I'm gonna make a motion.
Oh, did y'all get your applications for Gaza?
Turn on, we have a problem with S2.
Well, I gave them to them and asked them to put one in everybody's.
No, you talking about here?
I don't know where it is. I'm able to read.
I just wanna let you know that I've added an item to the agenda.
So you're in Stephen's new farm?
I'm not Stephen actually in that position.
Okay. So you're not a lawyer?
No, sir. Thanks for your help. I appreciate
No problem. But stick around. There will be no discussion.
it. Thank you very much.
Excuse me, sir. Okay, I just wanna let you know that I've added an item to the agenda. I'm going to add an item to the agenda, which is the adoption of the agenda.
Tomorrow's agenda is Luke available. He didn't get served with a notice of a hearing on December 15th. When she served him with a complaint in Patterson. She didn't send him a copy of the order she had signed by Judge Kruziger that set this for December 15th.
It's gonna be worked out. But just so you're not shocked at what the hell.
She's agreed to move it into January if there's no enforcement on it.
Anybody else hot?
No, it is.
I might pull my pants off.
Please no.
Oh, I see Chad hanging out there. Okay, what's your gut feel? Are you willing to at least talk about this next year?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
The invocation, are you invoking God's wrath on us or his prayers? I hope not to. Although he'd be well justified.
Good evening, everybody. I'm going to now call this meeting of the Planning Commission for November the 25th to order.
Oh, she's got one.
Yeah.
So I don't think the microphone's working.
The microphone
Mine
is not
is.
working. Did everybody hear me? Could not hear me. Do you hear me now?
Can you hear me?
Still don't hear me. I have called the meeting to order. And I appreciate you being patient so that you could hear me. This is not my church voice, but it'll have to do. So as we begin the agenda for tonight, I would ask that you join me by standing and we will have an invocation.
May we bow our heads, please. Our most gracious Heavenly Father, our Creator, we thank you, Father, for the opportunity we have to assemble in a free nation, a place where we can talk about issues. I pray, Father, that you'll be with each of us. We pray that sometimes we may not disagree, but we have to accept. So, Father, I pray that you'll be with us, that you will help us to keep the meeting civil and be with each one of us. In Christ's holy name I pray. Amen.
If you'll remain standing, and we will join me in the pledge for the allegiance to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. At this juncture, I would like to get a motion from the members of the board to adopt the agenda.
So moved.
I have a motion to adopt the agenda with a second. All in favor, raise your hand. All opposed, there is no opposition, and so the agenda is adopted. I would like to also make a motion at this time in regards to the agenda to table items 5 and 6. Do I have a motion? I make a motion to do that. Do I have a second to that motion?
Second.
We have a second to the motion to table items 5 and 6. All in favor, raise your hand. Opposed? There is no opposition, and so we are not going to have a public hearing on items 5 and 6 on the agenda tonight.
Benefit of the public, that was the Wallace-Jackson rezoning and special exception for the data center. That will be postponed to the next meeting.
It is an internal matter that we were looking forward to taking care of as soon as possible. And it will be done with the help of with the work of the staff and the help of our county zoning attorney. So, right off the top, I want to say we appreciate all of you in attendance and thank you for your participation in the government in this way. During the public comment portions of this meeting, certain rules do apply. So I want to get through those rules first so that you all know. Speakers must sign up prior to attend to the meeting and provide their names, addresses, and topic they wish to discuss. If anyone here did not have the opportunity or know about the opportunity to sign up and they do want to speak, I will allow 3 minutes at this time for you to go back to the back table and sign up for those items that you might be interested in. Is there anyone who would like to speak and has not signed up? If not, then we will move on with the agenda. Do you have the necessary paperwork? Oh, I didn't, but I'm sorry. There are other things that I want to say. Speakers must direct their remarks to the board in general and not to any one individual board member or to the audience. Personal disagreements with individual board members or county employees are not a matter of public concern, and personal attacks will not be tolerated. For each public hearing item on the application or a representative of the application will be allocated 20 minutes to make their presentation. Other speakers will be allocated 3 minutes to address their chosen topic as they relate to matters pertinent to the jurisdiction of this planning commission. No speaker will be permitted to speak for more than 3 minutes or more than once unless the board votes to suspend this rule. The chair has the right to limit comments in the interest of disposing of county's business in the efficient and respectful manner. No questions will be asked by any board member during the public hearing portion. Outbursts from the audience will not be tolerated. Common courtesy and civility are expected at all times during this meeting. So the pro applicants will have that 3 minutes to speak. Any remaining time that might be available. And so we will have a total of 20 minutes for those individuals who are speaking against. So there will be 3 minutes allocated for each speaker. So that is all clear. So we have the first item before us.
Madam Chair, the first item under new business this evening is preliminary plat approval extension for Stonebriar subdivision phase 3 and 4. We have 2 people who have signed up for public comment this evening.
Make a motion to open hearing.
We have a motion to open the public hearing.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to open the public hearing. Do we have, all in favor, raise your hand. All opposed, there is no opposition. The public hearing will begin. Mr. Allen, will you give us an introduction?
Okay. Are we sure we have that right? Because there's not a public hearing on this preliminary plat extension.
I beg your pardon.
You're exactly correct. I apologize. This is for item number 2.
I beg your pardon, I got
Alright,
my
you're fine.
notes
No problem.
scattered here on the,
All right, you have a public hearing open, so if you'll go ahead and close it.
so do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll move.
Do we have a motion to close the public
Second.
hearing? Do I have a second and a second? And do we raise your hand when you would like to vote for or against? Anybody opposed? There's no opposition. The public hearing is closed.
Back to Mr. Allen.
Mr. Allen.
All right, so this preliminary plat is for Stonebriar phases 3 and 4, the rear portion of the parent track. I did provide you a timeline in your staff report for this, which benefited me as much as it did you. I've been here 1 year, but this has quite a history. Anyway, to make matters short, there was a preliminary plat. It expired, or was going to expire. So in November 2022, a 2-year extension was approved. I'm sorry. I got that wrong. Extension of the preliminary plat was approved in November 2020 for 2 years. It expired in 2022. This property has gone through several developers in several years, and now we have a new one here, and they are eager to get started. So they need another extension of the preliminary plat to start out with before they can proceed on with their land disturbance permit. So basically, the prior extension expired 3 years ago. They are entitled to 2 extensions per the code. So if this is approved tonight, this would be their second and final extension of the preliminary plat. Is there a representative here from the construction company? Okay, we have a representative from the construction company here if you want to ask him any questions. But staff does recommend approval of this final extension of the plat, and they are eager to get started on this in this year or early 2026.
Okay, thank you. Is there someone
No, ma'am, no one has
No
signed
one
up to
is
speak for
registered
this
to sign.
application.
either for or against?
That's correct.
Then it seems that we're at the point where we would get a motion.
I'd like to ask a question, if I could.
Okay.
Yes, yeah.
Since we changed owners here, does the carryover on the first, extension, pass on to the new owner, or does he get 2?
Well, the code is not really clear in terms of, you mean like starting over or something like that?
Yep,
The code does not specify any, unless I defer to Newton on that, but I did not find anything in the code where it says you start over at a certain point.
Okay.
We have always held, or back when we had a lot of preliminary plats which required extensions, policy has always been 2 extensions irrespective of who owned it.
Okay.
So go in with the land then, basically.
That's correct.
Yes. And it has the same, lot yield as was approved back when it was rezoned, so.
Okay.
So just follow up too, so all the conditions will apply for this new timetable.
Yes, but I would recommend you make that part of your motion.
Okay. And then a question, I was trying to determine the Granite Drive entrance off of Carver Road. Does that match up? I think it's Huntington Road, which is right across. Where does the Granite Drive entrance?
Let's see here. Maybe on the screen
I
there.
don't know, it could be that it's a little further north of, I think that's called Huntington Drive, but.
Yeah, all this is at the back, so it's not on Moreland.
Well, I know,
Yeah.
but there's an entrance showing on,
Right.
Carver.
She's gonna bring it up here.
Sure.
I have a question.
Mhm.
Does the 2022 plat comply with the current regulations, codes, and requirements of for subdivision as we have now?
So nothing changed as far as it would be based on the standards it was approved for back in the day, that those standards would still apply. The lots have not changed. Okay, yes, there is the granite drive going into that part of Carver Road right
Right.
there.
Well, in the, just looking at this, I don't even know what it's called, the phase, well, it says plan right here. David, I don't know if that helps you.
Right.
Further south, there looks like there's a very faint line over on the east side of Carver, which could be Huntington. I was just hoping that the entrances would line up versus having two different traffic points.
Yeah, they would, they would have to do that with Public Works. They would have to line up with, or have enough of an offset off an entrance to
Okay,
where it
okay.
did not.
Not too many.
You can't have it too close. It's
Right.
either line up or far away.
Right,
So,
right. And then my last question was over on this far western part, and it's on this plat right here, and I don't know who's controlling that. Is that Eva or Elijah? Okay,
Eva.
so on that far western, okay, so that's different than what I've got. Okay, because I was curious about how there was a far western part that was going to be developed. The roads didn't look like they hooked up. That one, correct?
Yeah, that's phase 3 that hooks into the existing road in phase 2 up there just to the north. It will be an extension of that.
Okay, so this new plat now is for both these phases, the one to the east and to the west there?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Go out there where the road's just in and it's a grassy
Oh, right,
field.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
where,
that's,
yes.
yeah, the effective cul-de-sac right now, okay.
Correct.
Okay. Sorry, just trying to clarify in my head.
Thank you for your questions. Are there any other questions from members of the board? Do I have a motion?
Well, I would make a motion to approve with the conditions previously, set.
Zoning conditions,
Yeah, the zoning conditions back when,
2001. looks
yeah,
like.
2001. Yes.
Okay.
We have a motion to approve with the conditions as stated in the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, raise your hand. All opposed? There's no opposition. This item is approved. Next.
Madam Chair, item number 2 under new business, application 2516S, Brother Gotra LLC owner, Harmony Towers LLC, agent 3430, North McDonald Road, parcel 201010001G, located in land lot 147 of the Second Land District, consisting of 2 acres. The applicant is seeking a special exception to place a cell tower on the property.
Mr. Allen, will you give us an introduction?
Okay, yes, this is right up at the Henry County Spalding line on North McDonough Road, same property as the liquor store. So it would be just south of the building where that red star is there on that same property. And I believe there's a representative here tonight as well to speak on the case. This was tabled from October. So.
Do we have a representative from the applicant? Would you step to the microphone and give your name and address?
My name is Chip Flowers. My
Need to
address is
open the,
4519 Gainesville, Georgia.
Need to open the discussion.
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
Can I make a
Do I have a
to-
motion to open the public hearing?
So moved.
I have a motion and a second to open the public hearing. Would you raise your hand if you approve? All in favor? It has been approved. Now we may begin with the public hearing.
Okay, so my name is Chip Flowers. My address is 4519 Abbey Lane, Gainesville, Georgia. I'm here to represent Harmony and T-Mobile for the new tower that's being constructed. So T-Mobile is looking to build a 150-foot monopole in this area to address in-building coverage and in-vehicle coverage in that area that's lacking for them. So they're currently on 2 towers in Henry County, but can't reach this specific area. And we have taken a look at the new tower that was approved back in March and the Crown Castle Tower that exists to the south of us. And neither one of the towers still cover this area. It will give you some in-vehicle coverage, but it does not cover in-home coverage. So the neighborhoods there won't be able to have service in their homes. And the coverage for in-vehicle is kind of spotty. And I got some propagation maps that we can look at to kind of show you what I'm referencing. This is the map that shows you all the towers that are in the area. 5280 LLC, that tower does not exist. It was never constructed. On the next page, right here shows you where we got our tower proposed in the middle, and this is the current coverage of the area. So you can see where T-Mobile's at is all highlighted in green is the in-building coverage. The yellow is the in-vehicle coverage. So you can see this area is just kind of, doesn't have anything being covered in it right now. So on the next slide, this is what the area will look like when T-Mobile installs this tower. So all the neighborhoods in that area is gonna have the in-building coverage they need, and it's gonna extend further south for any future residential homes that are built or to address those issues as well in that area. Let's see. Then on the next slide, I believe we addressed, let's see, I thought there was another slide in there where we addressed the tower to the south. Back up, should be, go down, I think it's 3 slides. The next slide down. And then, no, this is missing one of the slides. So anyway, if we were to co-locate on the new existing tower, that's around 1.7 miles away, it would not reach up into this area. The staff report has the correct propagation map in it.
Yes.
Showing that where we showed that tower co-locating on it at roughly the same height we're at.
Yeah, go down a little bit, Eva, I have a comparison. A little bit more, yeah. That's his tower, and then,
Next page, I believe. Then, let's see here. Oh.
I thought. You gave it to me, I put it in, so.
Yeah, I don't see it in the document either. But, so even co-locating on that tower at that distance doesn't provide any in-building coverage and still leaves a hole right there in that area. So in the future, we'll probably need that tower to the south. But at this moment, if we co-locate there, we still need a tower in the north to cover that area, regardless of either way, due to the way the signals propagate to the frequencies.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Carleen Rideout? If you would
Please
please
step to
come
the-
forward to the microphone, state your name and address for the record, please.
Okay, so the cell towers, I'm
Your-
Carleen Rideout.
Thank you.
And what else you want? My name
Address?
was? You
Your
need to
address,
have my
please.
address for the record. 109 Saginaw Court, Locust Grove, 30248.
Thank you.
Okay, so the cell tower, I live in Grayson Park by Starlight Homes. That cell tower is across from the liquor store, which is 1 minute in driving distance from the new subdivision they just built. My concern is medical conditions, the health for the community, the loss of value for the homes due to it being an eyesore, the location of it. I don't agree with it being put there. Can they do something where they put, like AT&T had the fiber optics under the ground? Is that possible? Is that a solution?
I don't know that, but I certainly don't have the technical knowledge to be able to answer that question.
Fiber optics will run to the tower regardless, underneath the tower, there'll be fiber optics to it.
Step to the microphone, please, sir, and,
So fiber optics are gonna be in the area regardless. That actually runs to the tower itself and runs the signals from tower to tower. So fiber optics won't solve this issue. This is for cellular coverage, data coverage and stuff like that. As far as the health concerns go, there's no definitive evidence that cell phones cause any kind of health issues. We've been using them for 40 years. And people, a lot of people talk about them getting tumors and stuff like that, but there's no evidence to show that at all happens. Otherwise, most of us in this room have cell phones and been using them for 30 years. We would probably all have health effects from that. As far as the appearance of it, I mean, you got transmission lines sitting right behind this tower, so it kind of goes with that. So you see the tower, you see transmission lines. So it's all kind of a utility right there together. That's kind of the reason why we chose the location, because it goes along with what's in the background right there.
thank you.
So where those lines are in the back behind, if I'm thinking of it right, you're talking about behind the liquor store.
That's correct.
So you're gonna put the tower back there.
It's in the background of the tower. So when you see a tower, you see the transmission lines.
I'm sorry, would you step again to the microphone?
So the transmission lines are already present there, right? So naturally, a cell tower sitting there with transmission lines, the transmission lines are already an eyesore for that area. When you build a neighborhood there or anything like that, they're gonna be looking at that out the front of their house, and sitting it right here next to a liquor store. It's only 150 foot, so it's not a big tall tower like you would see 250 foot on normal towers that we try to build in rural areas. So with the transmission lines running behind it, the tower just kind of fits into that scenario because you're already looking at that. I mean, I don't really know how we could hide that without doing some kind of stealthing, And you're still gonna have the eyesore of the transmission line sitting there.
The transmission lines are an eyesore. I don't agree with it. I don't care for it to be right where I come out of my home, that's right there. Is it gonna be fenced up to keep the children from being able to go back there? To keep people from throwing trash back there? Like, what is the security part gonna be like? And as far as the health part go, I can't say for sure that it does cause any medical issues, but I'm sure down the line, we'll all see that research come to light that, yeah, this was the cause of that. Can't say it right now because we don't have an exact answer. So no, I can't say that, but I'm sure down the line, just like with cigarettes wasn't a bad thing, and then down the line, here we go, cigarettes cause cancer for this, and it cause cancer for that. Same thing with different foods that we eat, so I can't speak too much to the medical part. I think it's an eyesore. Is it gonna drop the property value down?
At this point, I
I
think
would
that
caution
we
us that
would
we
like,
need to let Ms. Rideout finish, and then you can have Mr. Flowers come back and speak to any questions.
I'm done.
Okay.
So as far as property values go, you can get reports that say sometimes it does affect property values, sometimes it doesn't. We all know that the younger generations are all very well connected. So they typically move to areas that have wireless capabilities for themselves. So, I mean, at the end of the day, homes that don't have the ability to walk out and call E911 from your cell phone, I mean, that's also poses a risk to the residents of the area. So it's one of these things, it's a necessary utility that we need. I mean, at the end of the day, we need cell towers in order to have coverage and be wireless and moving forward.
thank you, as any member of we would appreciate very much if,
May I just respond to that? I don't disagree. I don't disagree with you saying that people do need that coverage so that they can, if they need to make a phone call, receive a phone call. Is there somewhere else that tower can be placed? There's a lot of land around there where it can be placed a little bit further away from the subdivision where a whole community lives at.
thank you very
Is that
much for your
something that can be
comments. That
done?
ends your time.
Thank you.
I encourage Mr. Jip to have a conversation with this lady if she has further questions. There are no more speakers who have signed up. Do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
I did.
Do we have a
yes,
motion to
yes.
close the
Motion-
public
motion to
hearing?
close, yes,
There's a
sir.
motion to close the public hearing
A second.
with a second. All in favor? Raise your hand. Public hearing is closed. Commissioners,
Well, I had some questions, based off Mr. Flowers', presentation there. So I think I understand why the cell towers need to be there, but can't you just increase the strength of the signal? And the other tower, I guess I've got a question about why that one's, I mean, we approved that one, what, back in 6 months ago, approximately?
First of the year.
First of the year, but what has happened to that one? But I guess first, the coverage, can't you just increase the signal strength?
Well, they can, but it's really based off the frequency. So each carrier gets designated a certain frequency for a certain region, and some carriers' frequencies are stronger than other carriers. So not all frequencies are created the same. So T-Mobile may have a weaker frequency for this geographical area, where AT&T's frequency is much stronger and can propagate farther. So that's kind of what creates the unevenness when the carriers are working on trying to find locations for towers and things of that nature.
So then just follow up on that, on a co-location, where you might have one tower and several carriers. They don't interfere then the
No, because they're
frequencies?
all on different bands, right? So the only time you'll see like a interference is if a piece of equipment may malfunction, like a radio head unit, something like that, then they'll go in and repair it, and then everything's fine. There's no crossover at that point.
And then are the signals like line of sight? I mean, cause you're on a high elevation.
Yeah, so it propagates out kind of like line of sight. So it varies depending on topography. Lower topography sometimes get overshot, trees, leaves, that all plays into effect in propagation. So on some signals you'll see like in the fall or in the winter when the leaves are gone, their signals go further. But when the foliage comes back, that signal gets smaller because it can't penetrate through the dense foliage or something along those natures.
And then last question, is this gonna be, 5G, LTE? What's the,
They don't have 5G and LTE on it, but T-Mobile's moving everything over to 5G. They'll be done with 4G by the end of 2026.
so
It'll be
potentially,
5G strictly.
so does 5G mean more towers later?
Well, it really just depends.
Okay.
Not necessarily. It depends on the area in which they're in. Like the tower to the south y'all just approved will probably be brought in the future. Once they get this one in, then they'll probably be able to co-locate there and extend that whole range to that area, increase that coverage in that area. So it's just gonna still, if we co-locate on that new tower, there's still a hole here that's gotta be filled in some way.
Or T-Mobile?
Yeah, and even most likely for Verizon or AT&T. They probably gonna have the same issue here.
All right, thank you.
are there any other questions? Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Flowers, thank you. I went through the same thing with T-Mobile about 10 years ago. And we had some visual impact issues, and they decided to go with a tree monopole. Is that something that your people might consider?
Well, the problem with, I can't say they won't consider it, but the problem with it, it does change a lot to do with the tower itself. Because being a shorter tower and trying to be at the top, 5 foot below steel, means the antenna's still gonna stick outside the tree. It'll have to be taller in order to cover it completely in a stealth by monopine. Because they taper to going to the top. That means they have to take a lower rad, which reduces the coverage of the area, and then, or increase the tower height, and try to, that way they're further down on the tower and still maintain what they're trying to cover. Which, it's not really, at the end of the day, monopines are always something that people always ask about. The upkeep of them over time, they don't always look that great over time. It's hard to keep them up. Needles get old, they get brittle, they fall off, and you're constantly repairs, and the cost get expensive, especially when you start adding additional carriers to it as well.
But it is something that you might consider if that were all you had to do to get that.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions, from members of the board?
I've got a question for Mr. Allen on, his report. And it was mentioned there that, two existing towers in Henry County had T-Mobile, the other nearby towers had not been contacted. Was that an oversight in the process you're pointing out there, or, does that
No, they did
render
not.
this?
In their response to that, it's required in the code, and their response to that, they did not feel like that was, going to benefit them.
Okay, but as far as the coverage map itself and stuff, it's not something that we're not accurately showing the coverage because something hadn't been picked up.
We are now, the original ones, not the one you see before you, but the most original for the October meeting, one of the reasons it was tabled was, even though that new tower is not built on Gaynor Road yet, he still could take into account the coverage of it, so he did that with these revised maps. So that was one of the main reasons it was tabled. These maps reflect, T-Mobile coverage even with the Gaynor Road tower, assuming it's built.
Okay. Well, all right, thank you.
Thank you. If there are no more questions, thank you. Do I have a motion?
I have a question.
One more question
One
of
more.
staff.
So you didn't give your staff recommendation here. Are you gonna do that, or?
It's denial.
Okay, my question is, there was no reason there. Can you tell me why?
Well, the reasons were the concerns I outlined above. I did some pros and cons. The cons
Okay.
outweighed the pros. Pros of approving new tower could provide more service to the new homes in nearby Grayson Park and the future North Torlaga Village. Will comply with code setback requirements for the tower in terms of the height and coming off the property line. It would not hit a house. Cons of approving a new tower, it will benefit, or seems to benefit Henry County just as much as Spalding. While two existing towers in Henry County have T-Mobile, the other nearby towers have not been contacted, just as Mr. Bauer was just saying. 3, the electromagnetic fields from the nearby power lines could disrupt cell service. Some studies have shown this to be true. And then with the approval of another tower less than 2 miles away on Gaynor Road earlier this year, is the county opposing its own goals in its telecommunications tower ordinance, which reads in that section 2 guidelines, encourage, minimize the total number of towers in Spalding County. So I have to kind of ask if this is having two towers, new towers, 1.7 miles apart, are we really achieving that goal?
Well, the reason I asked was, I noticed there was several notations made in here that due diligence was not made here in contacting some of these fellow tower owners and all that here, and I was just wondering if that was the reason, or if it was the weighing the pros and cons against it here.
It was both, really.
Okay, I was just asking.
One other question.
Thank you.
So, again, mentioning the Gaynor Tower, do we know why that one hasn't moved forward, or is it just on hold, or
They're just getting the construction drawings together. It's not on hold as far as I know. There's no problems with the procedure or anything. They're just getting the construction drawings together.
and will it have T-Mobile coverage from that one as well?
That I'm not sure. I think that was primarily Verizon, but I'm not 100% on that.
All right.
Thank you.
Well, and just maybe a question from new guy here, and a little bit of looking I was doing today. I mean, the technology's changed, and does our ordinance reflect, seems like a denser network out there being required? Because I know this, Telecom Act was late 90s, and I remember some of that from before.
96.
Yeah, 96, and, but it seems like now there's a denser network required, cause people love their devices. And I'm just curious, does it make sense to have closer towers? Cause, and you've got competing companies now, you've got,
Well, I mean, the wave of the future, as I understand it, is the large towers are gonna be a dinosaur with 5G and the small towers and the various ways you can co-locate.
right,
So that's, in my understanding, is gonna be more of a thing of the past.
right.
Bill, the Georgia legislature passed, a small cell bill, and we have adopted that in the telecom ordinance, the
Okay.
appendix. That said, the 5G small cell will probably be best geared for urban areas.
Correct.
Rural areas, are anticipated at least within the remainder probably of my lifetime, probably in rural areas, and be needed there. But yes, you see constant change on these towers, excuse me, and you will see constant change in the technology as you have to get data compatible with AI requirements to be able to come across your phone.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Galloway, if I could segue on what you just mentioned, I've just gone through a situation in which we have left my cable company of about 20 years and gone to YouTube TV. I'm paying about half what I was paying earlier, but it depends on having really good Wi-Fi. And I think as we go forward, we're going to have to realize that strong Wi-Fi is going to be something that we need. Now, I notice out where I live, I'm already seeing what I perceive to be some 5G boxes on the poles. I don't know how active they are, but we do need to make sure that we protect the Wi-Fi. I'm on AT&T's DSL. That's horrible. Thank you.
It's always been worse in Pike County than where it is where you are. And if you think you need Wi-Fi, get in an autonomous vehicle and drive around Atlanta. Or order food with a little robot that comes to your house.
Thank you. That's all I need.
If there are no more comments by the members of the board, do I have a motion?
So moved.
What is your motion?
Motion is to end this.
I need specificity.
This is board discussion on the subject.
The board, this, I don't need a motion for closing the discussion by the members of the board.
Okay.
I just need a motion in regards to the action on the application.
Oh, that one. Bill.
I'll make a motion to deny
We have a motion to deny.
application
Do I have a second
25-16,
under the motion?
yes.
Having no second, the motion fails. Do I have another motion? Mr. Parliamentarian, what is the
Well,
next action?
you can send it up with no recommendation to the Board of Commissioners. So if you don't have a motion made or a motion's not seconded, you can leave it as it is and it'll go up to the BOC at their next zoning hearings. Cause this
So-
is a special exception and they have to be the final approver.
So we would close this item with no action by this.
That's correct. You can
At this
do that.
time. Okay, next item.
Madam Chair, item number 3, application 2519S, Family Worship Center Ministries Incorporated, owner 1160 County Line Road, parcel 228-03049. located in land lot 217 of the Second Land District consisting of 5.08 acres. The applicant is seeking a special exception to have weekly church service and Bible study on the property.
Mr. Allen, will you give us an introduction?
So just as Dr. Ledbetter says, this was a former house. It was been owned by the church since, several months back. They're wanting to convert it to, a place for a Bible study and church service. I believe they also said, and we'll verify this, it was also gonna serve as a parsonage for the pastor. Are the applicants here? Okay, we'll hear from them in a minute.
Do I have a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved.
We have
Second.
a motion to open the public hearing. Do I have a second?
Second.
We have a motion with a second to open the public hearing. All in favor, raise your hand. Opposed? There's no opposition. Are there those to speak?
There are, Madam Chair. Michael? Yes, if you would please step forward, state your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Michael Bew. I reside at 1160 County Line Road, I believe is the address.
Thank you.
And what we're seeking to do is to, before COVID hit, we sold our former facility, not realizing COVID was going to hit. So for years, we've held church on a campground. So we bought the parsonage for our pastor, and we thought that this would be a good way to kickstart the church, to have a service in it once a week and a Bible study once a week. And that's why we're coming with this application today. We're a very small church. We only, on a good day, we have 11 because the number has decreased and a lot of members have passed away through COVID. So we're just wanting to keep it going until we can build up the congregation.
Thank you. Are there-
Charles Fisher?
Thank you.
My name's Charles Fisher. I live at 1451 Birdie Road in Griffin. As Michael was saying, we bought the property for a parsonage, and there's only a few of us, and so we put an application in for a special exemption for a church and for Bible study. We're a small congregation. Good Sundays, there might be 15 of us there. A bad Sunday, it might be 7 of us there. But we're an old established church. We were formerly in East Griffin. We built the East Griffin CH Church in 1952. And, but we had to move out, bad district down there. And so we moved out because of a lot of break-ins and all. But anyway, we sold it and we found this property and so we're just hoping that y'all will agree to give us a special exemption. Thank you.
Marty Helms?
Yes, please. I'm Marty Helms, 802 Ashton Place, Griffin, Georgia. Pastor asked me to come down and just give some moral support to the gentlemen that are here this evening. And it's like they said, we've been really working hard trying to get the church really moving. It's been a hard situation, especially since COVID. We had a very good congregation. Then COVID hit. It really hurt us. And it's an older congregation, and it's really sweet people, good people. And what we're asking for is the opportunity just to serve the Lord. And just, that's pretty much, thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, that's all who have signed up for this application.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Have a motion with a second to close the public hearing. All in favor, raise your hand. All opposed, there is no opposition. The public hearing is now closed. Is there any comments? Is there any additional comments from the staff? Or,
Yes, ma'am.
Summary.
Staff did recommend approval of this with certain conditions. Condition 1, building is to be inspected for fire safety for conversion from a residence to an institutional use / place of gathering. Number 2, changes to site must ensure that no disturbance is made to wetlands to the west of the property, i.e. addition of impervious surfaces. Number 3, per section 503B1G above, any expansion or modification of the building shall be subject to additional parking requirements. On the subject of parking, you saw in there or how you calculate the parking for this. The best fit for the calculation of the parking is using the gross floor area method. Came up with 11 spaces required. There's a very long driveway there. There is also a 3-car garage and a additional concrete paved parking area in front of that garage for additional parking. So I think the parking can be covered as is without adding more paving to the property. So again, staff recommends approval.
thank you. Any comments by the members of the board?
Just a question. I noticed that in 2024, part of this property was deeded over to the Georgia Department of Transportation. Anybody know anything about that?
Probably road improvements, and they took a piece of the right of way, I would imagine.
Okay, all right, thank you.
And I had a question or two about, their services that will all be held indoors, I guess, I'm assuming, and there'd be no outside activity. I'm just worried about, any issues with noise or anything from holding outside events. That'd be my only concern.
I believe the intent is to have totally indoor services, correct?
And then, David, what would be allowed for a sign if they wanted to have one? I mean, I don't know that they do, but that's just in my list of kind of going down.
There's certain sizes. It's not zone commercial, so there is a limit. There's certain commercial ones you can have a nice base and a 15, 20 feet high, and you could not have that here. I will get with them on the size requirements, but it is smaller because it's residentially zoned.
And I wouldn't expect them to need a big sign, because
Right.
they probably know where they're going anyway. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Are there other comments or questions? Discussion with members of the board? Hearing none, is there a motion?
I move to approve
We have a motion to approve
With conditions?
with conditions.
And I second
with the conditions as put forth by the staff. Do I
I'll second
second?
that.
We have a motion and a second for approval with the conditions as put forth by the staff. All in favor, raise your hand. All opposed? There is no opposition. This item passes.
And this, as with the other ones, I should have said, will go to the Board of Commissioners, the same room, 6 p.m., December 15th.
Madam Chair, application number 4, 2528Z, Jack Gilbert, Sarah Gilbert et al. Owners, rear portion of 1075 Amelia Road, parcel 2000104, located in land lot 148 of the Second Land District consisting of 50 acres. The applicant is requesting to rezone from R2 Single Family Residential to VN Village Node for an extension of an approved master plan community.
Thank you. David, would you give us an introduction?
Yes, ma'am. So this was approved, the first part of this back in March, I believe it was, of this year with many approval conditions. This is an expansion of that onto a 50-acre portion, rear portion of a 95-acre piece of property. It will not itself have frontage to Amelia Road or North McDonough. It will be part of the interior of the subdivision that was already approved, so there's no other extra frontage for this piece directly onto existing roads. And I believe Mr. Chad Jacobs has a presentation for us.
Do we have a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion with a second to open the public hearing. All in favor, raise your hand. Opposed? There is no opposition. We will move to the public hearing. Please step to the microphone and identify yourself and give us your address.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chad Jacobs with Minerva USA. We're located at 2292 Henderson Mill Road in Atlanta, Georgia, 30345. I'll be speaking tonight on behalf of the Gilbert family as we are the developer. So real quickly to kind of give you a rundown on what it is that we're proposing, to kind of expand on a little bit on what David indicated. We are asking to rezone from R2 to VN for a neighborhood which will consist of 145 traditional residential lots. Also, as indicated, this will be located on an existing 95-acre site, but it will only be on the rear portion of 50 acres only. The Gilberts will retain the remaining 45 acres which front on Amelia Road. As indicated, this is adjacent and will connect to the North Talladega Master Plan Community, which was zoned Village Note as well back in March. Also, as a part of that rezoning, there was an extensive amount of zoning conditions that were applied to that, which this will apply to as well. But that Village Note and that Master Plan involved a mix of housing types, roughly about 10 acres of commercial uses, a robust amenity package with multiple amenity areas and a massive amount of trail system. This particular parcel on this 50 acres, we are providing for almost 11 acres of open space. The Village Node ordinance requires that only 2.5 acres be provided, so obviously we're well in excess of that at about 22% of the property. Is this not advancing? Oh, there we go. Awesome. No worries. So just kind of orient everybody on where we are. Again, this is an aerial image of the 95-acre tract. Obviously, the area that's shown in green is the 50 acres, which is in question, that is being proposed to be rezoned. And again, you know, the remaining 45 acres on the front will retain with the Gilberts. The easternmost boundary property line, it's kind of hard to see there on the screen, but that is kind of at a ridge point, kind of at a high point on the property. So we've intentionally kind of put the boundary line there because that would kind of create a bit of a buffer, and so that kind of help hide away this neighborhood from view, obviously from Mr. Gilbert as they're retaining that property, and also from view from Amelia Road. There we go. Pulling out further, so again, just to kind of help orient with where we are again, you can see the 95-acre parcel along with the 50 acres that is being proposed to be rezoned in conjunction with the rest of the North Talladega Master Plan development. Obviously, this is going to be kind of right there in that little L-shaped kind of nook, and so it's just a logical point. This is a logical area to kind of pull this in to this overall development. As with the North Talladega project, this is 100% compliant and adheres to all of the requirements for the Spalding County 2042 Comprehensive Plan. This is located within the Sun City and Huron Bay character area on the future development map. Again, as has been discussed previously in the past, the county and how they're planning for the residential density and development under this plan has put the bulk of the density kind of in that northeast quadrant. And again, within the Sun City, Huron Bay character area, it recommends up to 4 units to the acre in this area. North Hiawatha is only at 2.1 units to the acre, and even when you add in this 50 acres and the additional 145 lots into this, it only brings that to 2.17 units to the acre. So we're still well on the low end of that recommended density requirement.
And they need to be.
These are the additional recommendations and requirements for that Sun City Heron Bay character area. And again, we are adhering to all of those and are 100% compliant with those. So finally, we come to the conceptual plan. What I would like to point out a few things here. So again, this is 145 lots. These will be 50-foot lots, traditional residential homes. We are providing almost 11 acres of open space, which again is in excess of the requirement for village node. We are also still adhering to all of the county's S2 watershed requirements, all the environmental requirements. So like the buffers for perennial streams, intermittent streams, all of that is still staying in place. And again, we are also, one of the other things that I would like to point out is the connectivity. You'll see that there's there's two connection points to the north, which connects into the rest of the North Hiawatha development. But more importantly, there's a connection point to the west. We definitely wanted to put in this connection point to the west because as you view this in relationship to the rest of the development, the idea here is to definitely to encourage the residents within this this second phase, as David has indicated in the staff report, to use the 155 entrance and definitely want to take pressure off of the Amelia Road side. So we were very adamant about wanting to put in that connection point to the west. However, we did provide the two connections to the north because obviously having more connectivity is better than less, mainly for emergency response, vehicles, things of that nature. So it's always good to have as much connectivity where possible. As indicated previously, North Hiawatha in March, when it was approved, had a number of zoning conditions which were applied to that development. And again, this second phase here, all of those that are applicable will apply to this as well, specifically thinking in terms of architectural standards, streetscape standards, excuse me, and landscaping. All of those will apply on this 50 acres as well. And just to kind of show you, I pulled from those approved conditions of zoning, we provided examples of housing. So again, high standard, high qualities with high quality with the housing that would go in this development or in this phase along with the rest of North Hiawatha. And like I said, this pulled directly from the approved conditions of zoning from March for the rest of North Hiawatha. And so with that, that's really essentially it, gang. Again, we're 100% compliant with the comp plan. I believe we appreciate the staff report from David. They've recommended approval with conditions, and we are fine with the conditions recommended by staff, and we respectfully request that y'all approve as well. I'd be more than happy to answer any questions.
Jenkins, was there any, did you ever get those final additional traffic count numbers or?
Still working on those with the traffic engineer. One good thing that we did have, the original traffic study that was done for this had a larger number of unit count. So there was already a cushion that's kind of built in because obviously as we were going through the zoning process, the unit count decreased and some of the commercial area decreased in size as well. So there was already a pad that was kind of built into that because we came in underneath. But we are working with the traffic engineer on that, and right now preliminary conversation with them. All the recommendations by GDOT as it relates to the traffic improvements, it's looking like they're going to remain the same. But we're waiting to get that data back.
Thank you.
Thank you. No one else has signed up for this application, Madam Chair.
No other comments. Do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
We have a motion to close the public hearing with a second. All in favor, raise your hand. All opposed? There is no opposition, so the public hearing is now closed. Do we have a discussion amongst the members of the board?
Yeah, I had a couple of notes, and David or Mr. Jacobs could probably answer. Connectivity, sidewalks, or how are you gonna allow for people to move around in there besides cars?
Sidewalks throughout the entirety
Okay.
of it. That's part of the conditions of zoning. It's stipulated within that. It's part of the streetscape, where we have to have sidewalks at a certain width, and then area for street trees and things of that nature. So it's already provided.
I missed that. I'm
No
still new, learning.
No worries, you're
that
good.
sidewalks are important to
Yes,
me.
sir.
Thank you. And I guess a question regarding, where's our closest fire station for this?
Station 8 is in design at the moment, and it will be located at Teeman Road and Smoke.
And what is our ISO rating?
3 and 3X, depending on where we are.
Yeah, yeah. Do you expect that same rating with that new station?
We do.
To be there? Okay. That was my other concern with the houses at that far end of being too far away from where.
And we're pushing very hard right now to improve our ISO rating, which in turn will actually bring our insurance rates for our residents down.
Thank you. Thank you for that. That was all my questions.
Okay. Are there other questions or comments by members of the board? If there are none, do I have a motion?
I'll make
Oops, wait a minute.
Oh.
Do we have a staff input?
Staff comment, sorry.
Yeah, so we need to, a couple of things to discuss, actually one big thing to discuss. When we got this, you start thinking about, okay, how does that change the density? It didn't change it much, 700, so went from 2.1 to 2.17, it's still in that range, as Mr. Jacobs says, so that's not an issue. The traffic count numbers, looks like they will come back pretty much the same, because the numbers before were padded to be above what they should be. We do have another letter from mid-October from the Spalding County Water Authority Board saying there's adequate water for this area even with this expansion. There was an updated letter for this expansion as well. But what I touch on in the staff report, and I think we need to discuss this, is there's two staff conditions for approval. Number one, all relevant requirements of the rezoning conditions for phase one approved in March 2025 shall apply to this property. That includes architecture, sidewalks, everything that was required before. Then number two, this rezoned parcel shall be considered phase two of the approved North Toalaga Village development. Building permits for phase two shall not be approved until at least, and I have not filled in the percent of the house lots for phase one are occupied. The reason I'm saying this is phase one was capped at 1137 houses. Now this.
Number.
Yes, a number of dwelling units. Now this is approved and this starts along with the rest of it, coinciding with the construction in phase one, and you've exceeded at 1137 on the house numbers. So this is going to have to be a phase two, and it's going to have to be wait until a certain percentage of the house lots, I don't know if it's 100% or what, of phase one is done. Otherwise, it goes against the cap for phase one. So there's going to be a timing issue here involved with this. So
What is the calculation that you would need to do to
that's
find out
what
what
this
that?
board and the Board of Commissioners needs to decide, because I brought that up for discussion to set an amount. I'm not sure what the ideal on that is, whether it's 100% or not. That seems a bit stiff, but it can't, for all practical purposes, it can't just be an extension of phase one. It's got to be staged. So
The dumb question in my mind is all of that North Talaga Village, is that all phase one? Or are those broken up into?
it was never in the original approvals, there was never any phases in it. But as I was looking at this, it's like, okay, there's a cap of 1137 that was approved in March.
Right.
This goes over that by 145 unless it's done after the rest of it that was
Oh.
approved.
Okay,
There's a timing question here.
right, right, okay, see Mr. Galloway cut.
Madam Chair, could I ask, this is a little unusual, could I ask Mr. Jacobs a question, please, ma'am?
Certainly, you may.
Okay, Chad, we went through extensive work to do the conditions imposed on North Talladega.
Yes.
And there are different restrictions depending upon the type of development, where it's located. All right. Is this addition going to be part of North Talladega? And that builds off of what David is asking. And if so, do the conditions, Eva, could you go back up to the plat, the site plan? Please, ma'am.
Yeah, it can't exist independently of the rest.
That's correct. It can exist independently of the conditions and the zoning ordinance on North Talladega. So is this like the development and would be subject to the same conditions as that part of North Talladega that is immediately to the north?
Right. Separate parcel, obviously, you know,
Right.
everything that's put in place for the original 540 acres staying same. Nothing's changing with respect to that. This is, again, just another 50 acres that would connect into this, that would be a part of that on its, you know, again, its own, you know, kind of as David indicated in the staff report, you know, a second phase to that, albeit a very small one.
But the conditions, it would be subject to the same conditions that are in North Talladega,
Yes.
correct?
Correct.
All right.
Especially, you know, with architectural.
And I
Streets
touched on
and
that
things
in
of that
approval
nature.
condition number one.
Yeah.
I know. I got you. So we need to make certain that the statement of those conditions is completed. I don't want to have this held up here.
Yes, sir.
But we need to have those completed before it reaches BOC
Understood.
on the 15th of December.
Understood.
All right. Thank you, Madam Chair. That was it.
This is gonna have to be an extension of the original project because there's no access otherwise, correct?
Correct.
So, are we gonna try to come up with, a percentage of the build out in the original 1137 acres? And if so, historically, what is that?
Point.
I don't know that I would recommend percentages. We didn't do that in North Talladega. I think with this being part of that as an extension, that would create confusion. David?
I mean, I just throw out a number, for example, and I'm not saying this is the number, but, you know, something along the lines of 50% occupied in phase one before phase two starts, something along those lines, but there again, I don't know.
Well, and also there's such a disproportionality between what would be phase two versus phase one. I think we're better served, Doug, to just leave that alone and figure out a way to fit this into those conditions.
Agree. And this is it, there's no more to this, so we have no plans to do anything additional.
And you know, those conditions were 17 very well-written pages,
Yes,
Yeah.
they are.
which were approved by you. And they certainly form the backbone. We've just got to figure out how this fits into that recitation of the conditions.
And we're
And
amenable
we
to
can
that.
do that before the 15th.
We're amenable to that.
So any motion would be made would be that also the same conditions that applied to
Yes,
the first part would apply to this.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Not liking David's statement number one. I mean,
Yes.
okay.
the only question is, do we need to have statement number two in there, or do we just leave the XX as a placeholder? And if that's that's a bone of contention.
It would seem to me that the discussion we just had with the input from the zoning attorney would suggest that we don't need that.
Correct.
That it would be prudent for the developer to make it a progressional development rather than a spot development. And the appropriate transportation opportunities like, you know, roads would be in place before they would move in that direction. So I believe that would be my understanding, that we would move forward with condition number one, without condition number two, if that would be the will of the maker of the motion.
Yeah, I mean, I'm comfortable making a motion to that effect, that we follow David's recommendation, especially with Newton's input and yours, that we just
So-
go with statement one.
Then I will call for a motion on this item.
Yes, so my motion, I'll make that.
So we have a motion to approve with the conditions of staff, condition number one, with staff's recommendation. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, raise your hand. All opposed? There is no opposition. This item passes.
Madam Chair, item number 5, number 6 were tabled. The next item for consideration by the board is the consideration and approval of the meeting minutes for the meeting held on October 28, 2025.
And Ms. Upshaw, I did make those corrections you noted in the email. So.
Thank you.
Good
Everybody
catch.
had an opportunity to read the
Good
minutes?
catch, by the way.
Thank you. Is there any point of discussion?
Make a motion to approve minutes.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes from previous meeting. All in favor, raise your hand.
I'm abstaining, I wasn't here.
We have one abstain, given that he was not present. Thank you. From Mr. Ballard. I'm sorry, I didn't mention that. Okay. That item passes. Are there any further comments from members of the board on any item
Two
of
questions.
interest? Two questions.
Yes, ma'am. Are we gonna be doing a December meeting? Cause I'm not gonna be here. I just wanted to make sure.
I believe that we had an informal discussion in that regards, by email, and I think that it was decided that we would not be having a December
Good.
meeting.
My conscience is clear.
Thank you.
And then, second one, what is the status of our historical preservation ordinance? I mean, it's been several weeks and
Passes a second reading on November 20th, so
November
it's an
20th.
official certified bona fide document.
So we're legal then.
You are.
Ah, okay, cool. Thank you.
But cut the curve.
Well, the ordinance is legal.
Excellent point. Thank you. That was it. Thank you.
Are there any other items of discussion of interest to the members of the board, or recommendations, comments in any way?
Well, since we've taken 500 plus acres out of Cuba, the tax commission ought to be pleased. And so should the board of commissioners and the county manager.
Thank you.
Mr. Harris also gave me the other day at the office, Gaza applications.
I would like one.
I will hand those out. There's 4 of them here if you want to pass
Yes.
them down for the zoning board, not the Gaza Strip, but the zoning board. So.
Thank you for that clarification.
Do I have a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
I have multiple motions for adjournment. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second for a motion to adjourn. All in favor, raise your hand. This meeting is adjourned.